How's it going, guys? Got a land battle replay for you. This time it'll be NC Gala on Tzeentch and Plague Penguin on the Empire, aka the Empire player. So this should be a pretty good match. I actually already recorded this, but didn't record my audio, so great. Having to re-record this again. Anyways, Sorcerer Lord on his disc with blue fire and pink fire, along with Sword of Change. We have the Shrieking Sky Rays. Gonna hate saying this again. I hate saying their name in general. Zangors up front, the new and not improved. In fact, much worse. Losing quite a bit of armor and HP, along with a big hit to that melee attack. Bit more melee defense, but a lot worse melee attack. You're basically just paying for the silver shields and Protoss shields now. With, I guess, magic attacks, depending on who you're up against. But you don't need magic attacks in this matchup. Anyways, we have some Centaurs on both flanks. See how they do. They should theoretically do well. There's a lot of heavily armored targets on the Empire roster in their cav, so they should do well as long as you pull them out properly when they're too far engaged, or rather pull them out after just one swift charge. For the range, we're going to have some, of course, some pink fires, some pink horrors, blue horrors, and the chromatic aberrations, along with sour guts, just two staples in most matchups for Tzeentch. And then we have some pretty cool Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Love these guys. One of my favorite freaking cav units in the game, as you guys already know. These guys just look fantastic. Hopefully they do well. Empire sides, we're going to have Balthazar Gelt on his little Pegasi with the Staff of Olins and Final Transmutation, just to punish any, Tzeentchian blobs having to do with Centaurs and Tricky Sky Rays, etc. We have some War Wagons, too, in fact. Should be picking off any Chaos Knight models, any Screamer models as well. Along with just shooting at the General Chaos Lord, or whatever Lord the Tzeentch has. Swordsman, Spearman up front. You have some Knights of the Blazing Sun and Empire Knights on both flanks. Love the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Hopefully they do well. They are, again, another one of my favorite units, cav units in the entire game. They're just so incredibly cool. You're paying for that heavy charge bonus at 78 with 40 melee attack. Pretty nice. And then flaming attacks, which is okay. They do have spell resistance as well, which helps against blue fires. And then we have some Empire Knights in the back with these silver bullets. Handgunner ROR for that magical AP missiles up against to shoot any demonic units or just heavily armored chaos warriors, etc. And we also have some Demigryph Knights. I'm not sure entirely why, but this is a Plague Penguin. He knows what he's doing. And they're just very cool. So I like them. Don't mind seeing them at all. That AP should do against any Chaos Knights or Chaos Warriors as Tzeentch typically brings. So right into it, we're going to see the Centaurs try to get a charge into the Empire Knights, do some pretty good damage in there. The Empire Knights are not going to want to keep him stay in that battle, especially with the Shrieking Sky Rays coming over to help out. Over here on the other side, we have a Knights of the Blazing Sun charge into the Zangors. Going to do quite a bit of damage, take off their Protoss shields. Empire Knights even charge in as well. It was both of them. Empire Knights were getting dragged down a bit, running through those Zangors, trying to pull out, but they are finally out. They did take some damage in return, however. On the other side, the Empire Knights got routed off completely, unfortunately for them. Centaurs, however, are stuck in combat with both the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Spearmen, which is not great for them. They are really not going to like this. Their Protoss shields are gone. They need to be pulled out, and luckily the Shrieking Sky Rays have blue fire thrown on top of these War Wagons. Huge overcasted Final Transmutation on top of this blob right here. Chaos hitting both the Chaos Knights, Zangors, and actually just Chaos Knights and Centaurs, which is pretty huge. Pretty high value targets there. Going to be a pretty nice value for Gelt. But as well, we are getting some pretty good value from the pink horrors on top of this big blob of cav units for the Empire side. Pink horrors are going to get a charge by the Empire Knights, however. Not going to do a whole lot. I think it's mostly just a half charge. They were charging at the Centaurs and just ended up getting into those pink horrors in general. Sourguard's just shooting in at these war wagons, trying to screen them out, getting them to stop shooting at any of the Tzeentchian side's valuable targets. The Xangors have gone off. They are routed completely. They are coming back though. They have 31 models and can regen their Protoss shields, so that may be a nice late game. As the Blazing Sun have taken a bit of damage, but they do have 45 models left, a little under half HP. And we do have some Xangors over here chasing off some spearmen. Sourguard's shooting in at the swordsmen, just finishing them off. We do have some blue horrors here who have been finished off essentially by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. We're now rear charging into these Xangors and probably going to rout them. Xangors are not going to like that, though we do have some swordsmen routing as well. Another blue fire shot in at those Empire Knights, going to do a little bit of damage there. Not going to be as impressive as it used to be. Gelt just jumping in here, tying down those Xangors. Not going to be too big of a deal, but it's going to stop them from trying to pull down the Demogryph Knights. We do have some Knights of the Blazing Sun as well charging in on these Xangors, so they should be routing soon, taking quite a bit of damage. We have the Sourguard still shooting in. Surprised the Empire player has not gotten on top of them yet. They are putting in quite a bit of DPS. They have 30 missile strength. It's not a lot of AP, but still that amount adds up fairly quickly, and they are very tough. Rather, they're fairly accurate. Though we do have these Empire Cav running over and probably trying to finish off these pink horrors on this side. Same with these Senegors who have charged into the Empire Knights. Senegors being pulled out smartly by the Tzeentchian player. Over here on this side, the Silver Bullets have been chased by the Senegors for most of this game, unfortunately for them, though they are now possibly being freed up by the Knights of the Blazing Sun as they rear charge them, and yep, now they are routed. Though the Silver Bullets have unfortunately been missing out on the opportunity of putting in DPS on very valuable targets for most of the game. So it is a bit late, but at least they still have 41 models and can put in some DPS. Chaos Knights finishing off some swordsmen, routing them off. They had a really tough time earlier, being final transmutation and stuff, but they have come back with 28 models. They might be able to put in some work. I mean, finishing off some units is always good, though they are shattered. Might as well just bring them back over here and start chasing off maybe some spearmen, other spearmen, whatnot. Blue fire shot in at these war wagons, going to do another big decent chunk of damage. Along with a bolt of change, might be able to finish off a model there. And yeah, it does finish off another model, so it's down to just one. Another big final transmutation overcasted on top of the Chaos Lord, trying to tag those Stricken Sky Rays and the Senegors as well. Did do a little damage to Senegors, but the Tzeentchian player is going to pull out the Chaos Sorcerer Lord so it doesn't hit them, and you're mitigating a lot of that damage. Pink Horror is trying to shoot in continuously at those war wagons, but Gelt is going to stop them up. Smartly played by Plague Penguin. Sourguards finally get rear charged by the Knights of the Blazing Sun, so we're finally getting some damage in on those Sourguards, though they still have 7 volleys, and you only really lost their Protoss shields there. They lost a few models, but not much. 4 models is not a big deal, and they have been able to put in their DPS, so they've done their work. Another blue fire on top of these war wagons, though these war wagons aren't really your big issue anymore. Now it's just your infantry, and then we do have a pink fire thrown on top of said infantry, silver bullets, and the spearmen. Gonna rout off these silver bullets most likely with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. We do have these Chaos Knights holding off these Knights of the Blazing Sun, but with Gelt coming in, they might be able to finish them off completely, or they just might rout. I'm not sure. They are pretty steady at 28 leadership, so they might just fight until they die, and that's why I love Chaos Knights, especially the Tzeentch ones. Spearmen completely chasing off these Xangors, which sucks because those 63 models could be very impactful late game, even though they only have 2800 HP. Sourguard's continuing to freaking shoot in at these spearmen, and with the aid of the pink fire, those spearmen are not going to last much longer there. Another big final transmutation, another overcasted transmutation on top of the Sorcerer Lord, hitting the Chaos Spawn, but the Chaos Spawn or rather the Tzeentchian player does pull the Sorcerer Lord away from the Chaos Spawn, though at the same time he pulls them into Xangors, which is not great. Nonetheless, that value is accrued and that damage is dealt to that Sorcerer Lord. Sorcerer Lord trying to get away from Gelt there. He got to try to get a cheeky hit in on Gelt, but Gelt turned around. He's like, you want a fist fight? I got you. I'll put up a fight, man. Another Knights of the Blazing Sun charge. Another big old charge on top of these Sour Guts. Not going to do a whole lot of damage, thankfully, to those Protoss shields, but it does aid a little bit, and the Sour Guts actually going to turn around and start shooting again, though we have another charge in, unfortunately, for the Sour Guts. Chaos Spawn are going to come over here, but they're not going to be able to amount to a whole lot. I missed the first Chaos Spawn. I think they have two. I missed the first Chaos Spawn summon, but I can't imagine they didn't amount to much aside from maybe terror routing some infantry. I think they have terror, right? Or they cause fear. Am I missing that? Either way, it's gone now. Gelt trying to finish off the Sorcerer Lord. If Gelt can finish off the Sorcerer Lord, then it should theoretically go on the Empire side, right? I mean, the balance of power is inching forward towards the Empire side, and I would really write the Tzeentch player off here. I mean, all you have is the Sour Guts. We have some Zangors coming back, but we do have some Knights of the Blazing Sun, and we do have a fairly healthy Spearman, though we're going to have a pink fire thrown on top of these Spearmen. And Chaos Lord is starting to rout, but he somehow gets away. And I feel really bad for the Empire player there, because he used the War Wagons to block up that Sorcerer Lord, and the Sorcerer Lord still managed to get away scot-free. He's taken maybe one or two hits, but no, I don't think he has, actually. I don't think he's taken any hits at all from Gelt. Gelt has just been missing all of his attacks, to the point where Chaos Sorcerer Lord is just regenning his Protoss shields. That sucks, man. The RNG is not on the Tzeentch player's side at all there. Or rather, on Plague Penguin's side at all there. And if the Sorcerer Lord was able to rout off Gelt there, this would probably go in the Empire. This would have gone in the Empire's favor. But Zangors are catching up. Sorcerer Lord is still around, so that means he's going to be able to cast more pink fires. If it wasn't for that pink fire, that Spearman would have stuck around for much longer. I'm going to have a pink fire routing off these Spearmen. Both of these Spearmen, in fact. And yeah, now the balance of power is ticking towards back towards Tzeentch side. No, this sucks. Bolt of Change thrown on top of Gelt as well, just to seal in the deal. I mean, yeah, the Sorcerer Lord is just going to manage to win this out somehow, unfortunately, due to that RNG. It seriously sucks. The War Wagons are doing well, too. They're Chariot cycle charging, but they lose a model, and yeah, there's just too few Zangors left. If Gelt was able to rout that Sorcerer Lord, it should have gone in the hands of the Plague Penguin, but oh my god, just the unfortunate luck there. Gelt is not a great combat lord, but still, I mean, I'm sure he hit him I'm sure he was able to hit so many attack animations on the Lord himself, but actually not hit at all. If that makes any sense. Like, Gelt swung so many times, but just was not able to actually tag that Sorcerer Lord. It's really sucks. But, I mean, it was a fantastic match either way. I wrote it off earlier in my first recording, and I was so surprised. I was like, wait, what happened here? How the hell did Tzeentch clutch this out? And then I had to replay it, like, to see what the heck happened. But yeah, somehow Gala managed to win by the skin of his teeth. Wow. Such a good match. I mean, both players are fairly skilled, so I was expecting a really good match, and it was a good match. 1200 value on the Sorcerer Lord. I mean, as you saw, really good blue fires, pink fires. Pretty easy to get that value. Pretty easy, yeah, just to get that value as a sorcerer, as a sorcerer. These Xenogors kind of got rocked. I'm pretty sure they were the ones who got hit by both the Empire Knights and the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Either that or I'm mistaking them with something else. I think it might have been the one that actually got hit by a huge, that really fat, I'm having struggles with the words here. Final Transmutation. They got hit with that Final Transmutation most likely and just got dumpstered. These Chaos Knights did okay. I mean, again, they got hit by a Final Transmutation as well. A pretty big one, and were kind of surrounded. But they ended up coming back and were able to put in a decent amount of value for what you'd expect from what you wouldn't expect from a unit that got butchered so badly earlier on. Butchered might be a harsh word, but I mean they took a lot of damage early on. 1400 value for the Space Undergores, yeah, I mean about what I expect. Again, I didn't have a great initial impression of these units when they first got announced. I thought they were just ugh, but they can have some decent matchups here. I mean, you have your Protoss shields, you have the AP from those great axes, and pretty decent charge bonus. So theoretically, they should do well into these heavily armored cav from the Empire side, like the Empire Knights and Knights of the Blazing Sun, which they did. They did fairly well into them. You just got to make sure to, cycle charge them, pull them out, screen out units, and aid them, making sure they don't get overwhelmed. Because they will fall to pieces very quickly. 650 value on the Shrinking Sky Race. Of course, they did well, good unit. And of course, as I saw, 1500 freaking value on the Sour Guts. I mean, the Sour Guts just did so good that game. They were up practically in the entire game full HP. Not until the last few minutes did Think Penguin get any really real damage on them. But at that point, they already amassed the value that they needed, screening out those Empire wagons. Just such a good unit. And just as you can see, that's why they're a staple in most matchups for Tzeentch. Unfortunately, yeah, the Cormac Aberrations did not do great. They got hit by the Demogryph Knights and a bunch of other units. Everything else, Zangors did okay. Not a huge amount of value as they used to get. 2,000 value on Gelt, no surprise there. Those China mutations, mutations were huge. I mean, he got, I think, 3 off total. Obviously, Gala kind of mitigated some of that by pulling out the Sorcerer Lord at appropriate times and was able to mitigate a lot of that damage, but still racked up good amount of value, 2,000 value. Again, I mean, that first one, that huge hit in on those Centaurs and the Chaos Knights, probably quite a bit of that value there. I mean, it was really good cast. But yeah, 1,200 value on these Knights of the Blazing Sun, 900 here, and 1,300 value on this one. Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad to see them do well. I mean, that massive charge bonus and just such a cool aesthetically pleasing unit. I love them. Also really cool seeing the Demigod Knights, not the non-halberd variant. You don't really see these that often, at least I don't. 980 value isn't great, but they still did okay. They didn't pay for themselves, but still did fine. Surprised to see them in this matchup, and they did well. They had a place there. 674 value here, 300 value on the War Wagons. Yeah, unfortunately, the War Wagons didn't have a whole lot of great targets there, and they kind of got screened out a lot by the Sour Guts. So they had a tough time, and I believe a lot of their ammo was just spent shooting at Zangors in the back, the Zangors that were chasing the silver bullets the entire game. So, yeah, just tough for them. 1,100 value here on these Empire Knights. These Empire Knights did great. I don't know what they were hitting. Probably just getting into the back line a lot. Same with here, 900 value. And this one got dunked on, 1,100. Or rather, 111. These are probably the ones I think that got hit on that left flank by the Centaurs and just had a tough time. Silver Bullets didn't have that great of a time either. Only 400 value. I mean, they were getting chased by Zangors the entire game. I don't know why I was struggling so much there. So yeah, they didn't have a lot of opportunities to shoot. But yeah, awesome game. I'll catch you guys next time with another one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.